Hello everyone, my name is Jill Jaramanek. I am an attendance teacher with Oneida Herkimer Madison BOCES, which is located in the Mohawk Valley region of New York. My BOCES is made up of 12 component districts, and we serve students from grades pre-K through adult education. This year I am primarily working with our largest component district's high school with students in grades 9 through 12. So I have selected inner city schools and English language learners as my topic for my final presentation and project. At my current high school, we have about 3,000 students right now, and district-wide there are approximately 10,000. Of those 10,000, about 70% of them are ELL students. Overall, there needs to be growth and advancement in meeting the needs of English language learner students inside as well as outside of the classroom. For my thesis statement, I selected inner city school districts need to be better prepared to serve and meet the needs of English language learner students as well as their families. When I first started working on this project, I really wanted to take a look at the underlying issues that cause ELL students to struggle academically. So I would like to share those with you. The first item that I found was that teacher education programs do not adequately prepare prospective teachers to teach ELL students. I can share from my own experience when I was working on undergrad about 10 years ago. We did have a TESOL program at the SUNY program I was attending. However, adolescent and elementary education students didn't work with the TESOL program at all, and I know that I never had to take any type of course geared towards ELL students to get my undergraduate degree. General educators are often unable to distinguish students whose academic problems are an artifact of limited English proficiency with those who have difficulties academically due to an associated disability. This year at my high school, we have seen a major increase in the number of special education referrals, and a good portion of the referrals have been kicked back because the student doesn't actually have a disability. They belong in an ELL class setting. There's the lack of solid socio-emotional skills which promote competent interactions with classmates, teachers, and other adults. I know through my time conducting home visits and visiting with families and students, ELL students have a tendency to feel insecure, and that is a contributing factor to behaviors that are not conducive to the classroom setting. Teachers struggle to know how to effectively teach ELL students, especially for those who have never had any type of formal training or are not prepared to work with ELL students. After the No Child Left Behind Act was passed in 2001, which heightened assessment standards, there also needed to be a balance between the need for teachers to be providing appropriate academic instruction, and that has not happened. There has been a lack of professional development overall for faculty and staff. There is the inability for teachers and school personnel to make contact with ELL families. This is something that I see almost every day in my position as an attendance teacher. I get requests almost daily to do home visits for ELL students that the district just can't get in touch with, whether it be via phone, email, or mail. And there's also an insecurity of full-time translators. On behalf of my district, out of the 10,000 students that we have approximately, we do not have one full-time Spanish interpreter, and more than half of our students' native language is Spanish. So that is a little troublesome. We frequently have to, track down the health teacher, for example, or a parent liaison, or another faculty or staff member that is fluent in Spanish to request them to translate for us. This is also very time consuming because it's taking away from, the health teacher, for example, her own responsibilities, and we may have to wait a couple days before she even has a chance to attempt to make contact with the family. The next thing I took a look at was how inner city schools can be better prepared moving forward to accommodate and meet the needs of English language learners. The first item that I found was that teachers need to be promoted who are confident and competent, and they need to explore a broad range of digital literacy practices. There needs to be a boost in overall professional development opportunities for faculty and staff that is specifically geared towards ELL students and their success. I know since I have been in my current position almost 3 years, I have never taken any type of professional development that is tailored towards ELL students, and I have never seen anything be offered. While I was working on my research, I also found that there needs to be the creation of opportunities for social integration. One pretty interesting program I found was called the ELL Ambassadors Program, which partners ELL students with English native students through similar extracurricular interests. So basically, a ELL student would be partnered with a non-ELL student, and they would work on, anything from basketball to gardening to you name it, as long as they have something of similar or common interest. There needs to be the display and sensitivity and respect towards ELL students' native language and cultural beliefs by teachers and administration. And all educators need to embark on digital literacy strategies such as blogging in the classroom that invite and involve parents. Much of my research indicated a primary source of English language learners' academic struggles stem from deficits in professional development and training amongst faculty and staff, and that teachers overall are ill-prepared to educate ELL students. I found this research pretty troublesome, especially since I primarily work with inner city students and the majority of them are ELL as well. It's pretty scary that we're expected to educate to the best of our ability, yet we have no formal training or, up-to-date workshops or professional development on new practices or strategies that could benefit our students. Along with this finding, I also noted a trend of discussion regarding the need for teachers to be continuously revising their digital literacy strategies in the classroom to promote home-to-school connection and engagement. Through my own professional observations, especially when I'm out conducting home visits and, chit-chatting with people or, working with family court or probation, students and families whose native language is other than English oftentimes don't feel welcomed by the school community, by teachers, by administrators, and within their own neighborhoods. ELL families really do want to be part of the school in their communities, but language and cultural barriers often inhibit that from happening. The inability for ELL students to be academically successful contributes to chronic absenteeism, which in turn leads to the school district being placed by the state on, the absenteeism watch list. It also leads to an increase in CPS cases, which can lead to, charges such as inadequate guardianship or educational neglect, something along those lines, or school-based probation, when in reality the student and the families don't even understand what CPS or probation even are. So that's something to consider. Some teachers and counselors lack empathy for ELL students and their families, which only broadens the gap between home and school connections and communication. There is a significant lack of appropriate interpreters based on the number of ELL students and school needs, which I previously shared at the beginning of my presentation. ELL students and their families have greatly been challenged by remote learning and the use of platforms. As we've been working on this course together, I know a lot of us have shared, our feelings and our frustration and, being overwhelmed and not knowing what to do in the beginning when COVID first hit and frantically trying to figure out what we were doing. And, when I'm out doing home visits and working with ELL students and their families, if it's hard for us, it's definitely hard for them to navigate these remote platforms. And lastly, students and families overall, regardless of if they're ELL students or not, they sense when a teacher is incompetent in their work and abilities. And teachers or students and their families will be the first to bring up and note that they feel that their teacher has no idea what they're doing, or, that the teacher spends 10 minutes first period trying to figure out how to log into all their accounts and accept students to their Google Meets and their Zooms and things like that. So, that when the teachers themselves don't know how to use the technology or the platforms, it kind of sets the precedent for the students as well, that if the teacher can't figure it out, why should I even waste my time? And then that again leads to attendance issues and truancy issues and students not succeeding. Overall, this was my presentation. I have greatly enjoyed working with all of you this semester, and I wish you all the best of luck moving forward.